It might be short. I've got to do a quote at somebody's house today. Make myself a cup of coffee. I had to find my coffee cup. Yeah, I'm doing an estimate today. Well, sort of. I'm doing a walkthrough with a sprinkler guy at a house. There's a couple of sprinklers that are like caked with mud. And I don't know why or what we can do about it other than, there's sidewalk involved and, it's not going to be easy. So basically my plan is to get the tech's advice, who would be doing this job. And that way he can kind of tell me how long he thinks it's going to take, so he can't get mad at me if I just put it on his list with what I think, how long I think it should. So if it's like his idea, that should go over better. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm mainly doing it live so I could keep these going. I was supposed to do a video this week, and sure enough, I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's everybody up to? Walter, what's up, man? Can't read that. I'm working from home today on a landscape design. Nice. Yeah, basically, we've been working more and more on Fridays and Saturdays. And on Sundays, very little. I usually have one tech working on Sunday, sprinkler guy, who only works Saturday and Sunday. And he gets sad if I don't have any Sunday work for him. So that's kind of funny because sometimes I've got to try to find a customer that'll let me work at their house on Sunday. Usually those jobs are like accepted estimates already. It's not like they got to be there or anything. They just got to like let us go in the yard and have access to the timer. So, well, let me get, don't want to make anybody dizzy. But yeah, so, one of my managers said I should watch the Mike Andy's latest turnaround video, where he's talking with that guy in Ohio who basically basically the employees just don't relate to the owner, and there's just no like cohesiveness and teamwork kind of there, because my ops manager kind of feels like he's like that owner, where the guys are starting to just be resentful to him, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And so he wanted me to watch it so I could kind of see what I think, and I have some ideas. I got to talk to him about that. Hold on, I'm almost, oh shoot, I forgot to start. The thing is, I don't think, just so you know, like, and I'm going to tell him this too, although I know he has watched some of my videos, so he may be watching, but I don't know. Might be early too. Might be a little too early. But I don't think it's as bad as he thinks. Like, I don't think my ops manager has it that bad, like, at all. In fact, I don't think it even compares at all. But if he's feeling that, we should try to take steps to, make it so that he feels more comfortable, or the guys feel more comfortable. stuff like that. Let me put this up here. I see some comments, guys, but it's kind of small for me on this phone, so I'm gonna. Oh shoot! I clicked the wrong one. Clicked the wrong one. Down and you realize, man, I have to. All right, let me find my live. There we go. All right, let me find my live. Turn the volume down. There we go. Nice and big for me. You're getting burnt out on working Sundays too. I have to start finding part-time or full-time landscaping. I'm not getting burnt out on Sunday work, to be honest with you. It's kind of a new thing for me. So Fridays are much busier than they used to be. And I wouldn't say like busy as far as how many trucks are out in the road on Friday. But the jobs are bigger. And so we've, like, for example, I'm going to look it up because this is like kind of a funny thing. So Friday, I thought we only had one 2-man crew working and one mow guy working. That's what I thought we had. For whatever reason, that's what I thought. Because it seemed like all the trucks were here. I was talking with Jose. It turns out we had a 2-man crew, like I thought. We had a fertilizing guy fertilizing, which he doesn't normally do on Fridays, but he had some bigger treatment stuff to do that day, so he had quite a bit of work. My 3-man landscaping crew was out working. I didn't know that. One garden maintenance guy was working, and I probably should have known my garden maintenance guys were working, but it just didn't cross my mind. And then the mow guy doing all the first-time mows. So that day we actually brought in almost $7,000. Actually, it was $7,000, like $7,400. And I didn't even notice. So at one point, there was a 2-man crew here, the mechanic, and a guy we've got working in the yard that we're training him how to like move equipment around and clean the yard up. Believe it or not, cleaning the yard is a job, guys. To keep this yard clean from debris, from piles of rocks that weren't used at a job site, for bricks, from, you know what I'm saying? And just from weeds and all the stuff, and cups and plates and whatever, plastic stuff. Dude, where's my phone? So that job was my ops manager's job, but it's getting crazy. Like he has to, like, honestly, I noticed it and I brought it to his attention. Like, hey man, all these things are kind of getting missed by the wayside. We need to put somebody on this. Like, I think what you're doing is too valuable to be focused on picking up cups and plastic from the yard and weeding and moving equipment around and all this stuff. It's like, dude, and going to the dump. Like, you can't be doing that anymore. It's too much of the day. So we've got a guy that we basically have taken off the routes. He just doesn't, his quality just isn't there. I don't think he has the passion to be on a property working it. But he's always on time. He's always here. He'll work. He'll do anything we ask him to. If we take him off of his 1-man crew and give him as a helper for anybody, the sprinkler division, to dig trenches, work with the landscape crew, mulching, whatever, he will do it. But he just doesn't, he's just not talented. You know what I mean? So we've got him doing the yard stuff, and he's phenomenal at it. I would almost say, I can't say for sure because he's so new at that, doing that role of taking care of the yard, managing the yard and all that stuff and the debris, but he loads it up with the MT100 and then he takes it to the dump and then he comes back, puts it back, and he stays busy. and that is amazing. I, I honestly think he's got a passion for that, which he didn't have while he was working on the yards. But I think we may have found a place for this reliable guy that shows up, never calls off person, and he's working the yard. And so I've actually got to formally give him that position Monday. I've talked to Jose about it, and we're gonna just pawn all that responsibility of moving the equipment around once it gets fixed, put it back on the proper truck, take the loaner off, put that, make sure that's clean and working good, maintenance, and put away, and also make sure all the trucks have the right equipment on it. And make sure the yard is clean, the debris is taken away, the piles of rocks that didn't get used on a property, we take it to the rental property next door. I mean, so I'm taking that responsibility off of my ops manager. So what happened was that on Friday, I went next door because I just walked over there because I know they were working there. The guy that sold me all these properties, he's trying to sell a house on the same street. So I walked over there since he gave us the job, and I started talking to the guys, telling them what I think, what the client wants, and it was all great. And I was like, all right, man, have fun. So then I come back here, and then I see them here having lunch, and the mechanic and the yard guy and Jose. So there was like 5 people back there in the yard, and they were actually grilling on the grill. And I actually got a little upset. I was more I wouldn't say upset. I was more like feeling the pressure of like, dude, we've got 5 guys working, and you guys, instead of finishing that big job, you guys are all on break. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Finish the job. So, that was more of a knee-jerk reaction rather than really looking into it and going, oh, you know what? They're all on break. They clocked out. You know what I mean? I was just kind of like, dude, we've got 5 people on the clock today, and we've only got one job, and you guys are like having a party, So anyway, I didn't voice my concern, but my attitude and my demeanor right in the middle of them all going, what is going on? And then walking away, I guess said enough, because Jose said he had to explain to the guys what's going on, why I looked upset or whatever. Anyway, then later on, about probably, I think I was almost done with the day. I think I was at my house when I realized we actually had a lot of crews out working, and a lot of revenue was being made that day. And I didn't even know it till the end of the day. So then yesterday I talked to Jose, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I hope everybody wasn't upset that I was upset out there yesterday. They're like, yeah, they were like, what's his problem, And I was like, man, he's really stressed. He's got this and that going on. He's just stressed. And I was like, dude, I wish I would have known that we actually had all these jobs going on. I wouldn't have felt that pressure, and I would have been way better off. But I mean, I didn't even pay attention. I was so worried about what I was doing. So anyway, we actually brought in for having, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks out with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 workers. So what did I say? 5 trucks, 8 workers, all bringing in revenue, all killed it that day. My numbers for that week is so good. As far as the man-hour rates, everybody bringing in money. So that was a little bit of my bad, but anyway, shoot, I lost my. I think I lost my live channel. Where the heck did I put it? Oh, here it is. Oh yes, I watched it. He has to raise prices and downsize and hold his people accountable. Yeah, that one's a tough situation for that turnaround show with that Ohio guy. Um, all new people, man, that's tough. But also kudos to keeping it going. If you got all new people, yeah, that's a blessing that me and my managers know about us is we have all our people come back. And we know that's a blessing. We know that there's a heavy cost to that, paying them over the winter. You know what I mean? Um, Speaking of that, while I was watching that video, one of the commercials of that video was Mike Andes basically plugging his book, The Off Season. So I started reading it today. So while I was on the treadmill this morning, I was like, oh yeah, I want to look into that book. So while I was on the treadmill, I looked it up and I bought it and I started listening to it. Learned some good stuff. Matt, happy Sunday. Hope you have a good one too, bro. Walter, we started yellow slips for P4P this week. That's cool. Let me tell you guys, I'm not going to be the anti P4P guy. It might work out again for me someday, but as of right now, we've pulled the plug on P4P. I did it since 2020, and I've even done it. No, I did it in 2020, all the way till the beginning of this year. So we stopped doing it. The problem with that's for P4P is the customers at some point stop complaining. They just get fed up and they stop complaining, so you don't get a yellow slip. Do you know what I'm saying? And they just leave. And they don't complain anymore. So I started to notice that. And then I started seeking advice from friends or whatever, and they're like, well, do you have somebody going back, basically, do you have somebody checking all their houses every day? And I'm like, no, and I never will. That doesn't seem financially, it doesn't seem like a good business model to have somebody checking everybody's work. That goes along with that guy from Ohio, like his workers, they feel they don't trust the owner doesn't trust them. I don't want to start doing that kind of stuff, and I don't trust my guys. Like, yes, quality is number one, and it should be my responsibility to check it all. But dude, that's a position that we're gonna have to hire just to check everybody's houses. I mean, at one point we had 8 Mo guys. We took that one guy and made him a yard guy, so now we're back down to 7 guys. But I have 9 trucks, so we definitely have 2 more Mo opportunities to grow. And I'm not going to have somebody checking everybody's houses. I'm just not going to do it. I would rather just keep training people or hiring people with experience than check everybody's work every single day. I'm not going to do that. And so people were canceling because of that. And then I had guys that were taking way massive advantage of it. Like, they were doing, I would say, a 12-hour day, like 12 budget hour day, and condensed down to 3 to 4 hours. Like, sometimes they finished in 3 hours because they're going so damn fast. No trimming, no edging, just mowing. And it's like, okay, on those days we want to check their quality, but at that point, at the same time, isn't their argument is like, well, that's P4P, let me get a complaint and I'll go back. But if not, dude, pay me my money. So, you know what I'm saying? It just got to the point where it was like, I would rather have quality and pay my guys for hours than have guys take advantage of it. Not all of them did. Not all of my guys took advantage of it. Of course not. I have guys that was my other problem. I had guys that were taking advantage of it, getting $400 bonuses, And then I had guys that were best quality, doing great work, following all my policies, and making like $80 bonus. Okay? That didn't sit right with me. So I got rid of it. Yes, it's hard to keep the place clean. It's annoying. Going back to the yard. Jamar, what's up, man? Walter. And his main guy left because he had cancer on the turnaround show, so he's stuck alone again. I know. That was crazy. That guy was like, should have been running the business. Should have been running the whole business. The guy should have taken, the owner should, if the guy was healthy and didn't have cancer, he should be running that business. And the owner should have taken a whole year off. And then when he comes back, he should have given the guy equity if it's still in one piece. If the business is still running and profitable, and whatever matrix he should have set on him. That's what I would have recommended. But damn, that sucks. That sucks for that guy too, man. He seems like such a freaking badass guy. He's got cancer. Walter, what do you think about sending an internal how we are doing to current customers? We sent that and had a couple sent me a message, and we are improving on that before we leave. Yeah, I've sent two. I've already sent two. I sent one at the beginning saying, I let it be known it's from me, the owner. I want to make sure you have the best mowing experience. If you do not, please let me know. I will do everything I can to make sure that we keep you as a customer. We've got some new people training, some veterans that are still with us, but you may have a mow or more mows that are done by a new person, and so the quality may not be what you're expecting. But we don't want you to be frustrated. We want to work with you. Just let me know. So I sent an email like that, and then I sent one probably 3 weeks ago saying, how are we doing? I had a couple of people really upset. Well, I don't know. I want to say upset, but just really detailed on why they weren't happy, and a really long detail, like basically saying, look, I really want a solution to this or I will leave. So I think it's helping. What's up, Landscapes of America? Okay, I may have to head out here soon. Hey, what's up? Okay. Yo, sí, yo voy. Okay, gracias, bye. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. Peace out.